Alright, what's going on guys? It is Core Ambition, and in this video I'm gonna go over maps I would like to see for Original Trilogy Capital Supremacy. Since it's already been confirmed that sequel Trilogy Capital Supremacy is gonna be arriving, I was like, alright, well, there is probably gonna be a good chance that we're gonna get Capital Supremacy for the original trilogy. So I'm gonna go over maps I think would be a good candidate that are in the game, and I'm gonna go over a map that I would like to see that should be remade or just be added into the game. This is kind of following the system that prequel and sequel capital supremacy maps are going to be have followed, as in Geonosis was completely remade, and then it was followed by maps that we already have in the game from Galactic Assault, but just remade and similar to sequel trilogy with the new map, as well as Jakku, and I don't know what other maps are coming to sequel trilogy for capital supremacy. But let's begin. Starting off with the map number one, I would like to see Hoth. Now, Hoth is a pretty good planet in Galactic Assault, and I really do enjoy kind of the change in fighting styles, as you progress in the map. Because at first, all you really have is just trenches dug out in the snow and a few like snow hills or snow dunes. Great map for snipers, in my opinion, because just wide open landscapes. Far range combat is really crucial at like this beginning part, and then as you move into the base, and then as you move into the Delta Outpost, I believe it's called, it's more close range combat because there isn't as much space, kind of like that. And I feel like this would be really cool in Capital Supremacy, because I feel like one or maybe even two of the command posts are inside of the base and the rest are on the outside. So yeah, as you move into the command post on the inside, you got to change your fighting styles for close range, and then on the outside you have to change it for far range. Moving on to map number 2 is Yavin 4. Now, the reason I like Yavin 4 is I probably think it's going to be one of the best Capital Supremacy Original Trilogy maps because of just how it is designed. As in Galactic Assault, Yavin 4 is divided in 4 kind of phases, and I feel like each phase is just changed in combat a lot. The first phase, you have 3 different turbo lasers, and it's more like close quarters, action. Just soldiers aren't spaced out that much, so it's more tight quarter combat. Then in the second phase, it's kind of like the same, except there's like a wide gap between two objectives, so you have an opportunity to change your playstyles. Then the third phase is just open range combat. You just have like starfighters like kind of on the pad to you can use this cover, but it's more open range combat. And the fourth phase, it's like really squeezed in there. It's really chaotic. So yeah, each of the phases have been kind of have a different setting, and I feel like that would be similar for command posts. Place one of the command posts inside the Masasi temple, I believe that's what it's called. One of them on one, or even 2 of them on the outside of the landing pad, and then the rest spaced out in the jungle. Again, this would be really cool because you can change up your fighting tactics, and it just a beautiful map to kind of put command post in, and it would just look like a great candidate for capital supremacy, with just the beauty of the map, the changing of combat styles. Just this is a map I'm really excited to see. Just imagine seeing like a Star Destroyer above the Masasi temple as it crashes down. That is like something that would look really beautiful, and I really would like to see that. So yeah, Yavin 4 I do hope arrives for the original trilogy. But we're going to move on to number 3. Now, this is another map that I think a lot of people would want for original trilogy, and that is Tatooine, or more specifically Mos Eisley, because most of the maps we have isn't really, urbanized warfare. There aren't really buildings except Naboo, but you can't really go inside of any of the buildings. You can only stay on the outside. But if you play Galactic Assault for Tatooine, you would know that you can actually travel inside of the buildings. You can go inside these little sand huts, or these little buildings, and that would be a really cool thing, because unlike the Naboo kind of phase, a lot of the buildings are really compacted in together. They are small, but they're really compacted in. So yeah, just having warfare where you fight inside buildings, fight down the alleyways between buildings, that would be really interesting. Again, it's just more of a close quarters map, but it would be really interesting nonetheless. I feel like the command post will be pretty evenly spaced out. One command post could be spawned in where the U-wing is kept. One is spawned where the Imperial shuttles land at the beginning of the Galactic Assault phase, and then the other 3 are just spaced out in between the map. Because I would really like to go on this map realizing it's going to be like a different change than the other maps we gotten. Like it's going to be a different pace of warfare, or like a different style of combat. because you're just going to mainly be fighting inside buildings, and you're going to be mainly fighting around buildings. There isn't really any open spots unless you're on like the edges of like kind of the buildings. To summarize, Tatooine I would really like to see, because just having that one map that you can go inside and outside of buildings would be a nice change of pace, compared to more of the open ranged maps. Now, moving on to maps I would like to see added, I would either like to see one of the following, either Endor or Bespin. Now, let me start off with Endor. Now, I know we have an Endor Galactic Assault map in the game, but it just doesn't really look like it would be a good map for, Capital Supremacy, because if you see the layout of it, it's like kind of just a narrow pathway leading from the outpost to the research station. And that really wouldn't be good, because you can only space command posts in a line, and you can't really put any horizontal distance between the command posts. It would just be more like a straight line, so it'd be very different than most of the other maps, and I just don't think it would look that good for a Capital Supremacy map. But I really do want to see Endor in Capital Supremacy, just because Endor is one of my favorite locations in Star Wars. It's just very beautiful location with all the trees, and I did like seeing it in Return of the Jedi. And yeah, that's why I would really like to see a revamped Endor map. And honestly, if they just re-added the 2015 Battlefront map from Endor into the new into Battlefront 2, that honestly would work, and it could probably work really well, because Battlefront 2015's map, there was a game mode called Supremacy, where you don't really capture command posts, but it's like you capture areas. So yeah, they could easily, if you've seen the map, you know what I'm talking about. That would seem like an amazing map to add in the 2017 Battlefront. And honestly, that map was just amazing from the 2015 Battlefront. Really cool. I really did enjoy playing on that map. So yeah, adding it to Battlefront 2017, I'll have no complaints. But yeah, if they did make a new map, I again would not mind that. I would love to see a new Endor map. The main features I would just want in an Endor map is Imperial bunkers, because every Endor map you've played, you probably have gone in an Imperial bunker. Those are really vital. Place a command post or two in like the Imperial bunkers. Ewok villages, another cool thing that we really need. Place a command post in an Ewok village. Just really like fighting in Ewok villages, just because you can go up in the trees. So yeah, that would be a height advantage. It's just really fun shooting at stormtroopers below you or rebels below you. So yeah, Ewok villages, another vital part. And finally, just a lot of space for speeder bikes, because one of the coolest things about Endor from Return of the Jedi is the speeder bike chases, and I would really like to see that in the Capital Supremacy map. Just going around in a speeder bikes, having speeder bike, chases. That would be really fun. Fighting around the command posts. The thing that really makes that really fun is just the trees. So avoiding the trees, the environment's your number one obstacle if you're on a speeder bike, apart from the enemy itself. So yeah, those are the three features I would really just want to see in an Endor map: Ewok villages, Imperial bunkers, and space for speeder bikes. Move on to the other map I think that would be great if they ever added for Original Trilogy Capital Supremacy, and that is Bespin, because of a couple of reasons. Number one, because it is just beautiful. Like, I think we can all pause right there. Just seeing this floating city above the orange sky looks amazing, and that's the reason. And also, I just love playing this map on the 2015 Battlefront. And two, I think it would be like the greatest urbanized map we would get other than Coruscant, but I don't really think we'll get Coruscant in this game. But Bespin, I would really hope we do. And yeah, how I would like this map to kind of like shape out is just, having open distances, so like a lot of running space in the open, but then you have a mix of an occasional building you can enter here and there. Think of it like the 2015 Bespin map. For the Walker Assault map, you had a lot of places where you can run just great distances for running, but then you can also enter quite a bit of building. So I would just like that mix of interior and exterior warfare. And yeah, I feel like command posts could be placed a lot on the outside, but maybe one or two in like inside buildings. So now you have to change into close quarters combat. And yeah, also just the idea of an Imperial Star Destroyer and a Rebel Mon Calamari cruiser fighting above the city in the orange or blue sky, depending on how the weather looks or how the sky looks that day. I personally like it when you see the scenes in Cloud City where the sky is blue. I don't know, I just like it way better. And then just the idea of one of them crashing down into the gas giant. It would be kind of satisfying if you win, but not as satisfying if you lose. Just yeah. But that's actually going to end off this video, guys. Comment down below what maps you would like to see for the original trilogy, and even the sequel trilogy for Battlefront 2. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and if you did, please leave a like, as I will greatly appreciate it, and subscribe to be notified for future content. But this has been Core Ambition. Thank you all for watching, and have a nice day, everyone. Peace out.